So yeah, being willing to give yourself the pleasure that you think you need a woman for
Hmm.
make you more magnetic to the woman because you're not starving yourself waiting for her
Yeah.
to give you that attention.
Yeah.
And what I've found in the past several days, because after the men's group, which was awesome, I highly recommend if you're in Austin, go to the King's Code men's group. Welcome to the Make Love Easy podcast, by the way. Michael,
Yee. Let's go.
we found the perfect way to start. So
We
like
did.
right after, I was
Mm.
like charged up and I got home and on the way home, this really hot woman who I met on Sacrena turned out to either be a pig butchering scam bot or just a really insecure woman who wanted me to pay her to Venmo her money so that she could drive to come see me because apparently she was too broke to buy it like gas. And I was like, I want to meet you on Zoom first. I want to actually hear your voice and see your face before I put money in your account because we hadn't. We were just talking on Telegram. And
Wow.
she was like, "You have trust issues." And I was like, "No, I think this is a a completely reasonable request to want to like see the whites of someone's eyes before you fill their bank account." So anyway, she got all butthurt, and I was like, "Hey, I have my healthy boundaries. You can honor them or not. Like I have to actually be able to communicate with you beyond
What,
pixels."
what is Sacrena?
You don't know Sacrena? Okay,
No.
Sacrena, you should download it, man. It would be a blast for you probably. So Sacrena is this dating app. Oh, I deleted it. I deleted it because I hated the experience I had with this woman
It
so
sounds horrible. Yeah.
well, it's not as bad as Tinder. It's like conscious Tinder, but it's not as bad as Tinder. It's like close to conscious Hinge or Bumble. And so it's all
Wow.
about like archetypes and your human design and your Vedic astrology and they rank you
Okay.
based on that. And they have very few matches compared to the big name apps. But the
Sure.
matches you get, like it's really clear that the people on the apps, and you look at their marketing campaign, it's all for like people who are doing personal work, who are spiritual, who like
Uh-huh.
around the block.
Uh-huh.
And so I get on this app and this woman's just beautiful and just like I'm like, wow, this is like it's yeah, yeah, yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
This
just
is wow.
I was
I hope you're
astounded.
watching the video of this podcast and
Oh
not
man,
just
people are
listening
gonna
to
enjoy
it.
it. Yeah. So it's like a 10, she to me was like a 10 out of 10. And I was like, this is great. And we started talking and I started sharing a lot. And as time went on, I noticed I'm sharing a lot of audios with her and she seems to be listening, but she's never reciprocating with her voice. She's never sending me audios back. And there's this thing. You ever watch
Oh,
John Oliver Last Week Tonight?
I remember that show. I haven't seen it in years. I don't know if it's still a show or not, but
He had an episode recently about the pig butchering scam, which is these people enslaved in China to spam a bunch of different people through Telegram, through Facebook, and they look to appear to be a really attractive Chinese or Asian woman.
sure.
And they start flirting with you, and then eventually they ask you for money.
Yeah.
And so I watched, he has an episode on this, and I was like, all right, well, this is good to know. And then this woman shows up and she's like, oh, you're really great. And I'm really turned on by you, and I want to come visit you. I live here in Port Aransas. You live in Austin, so I'll drive 3 hours and 51 minutes to come see you. And I was like, well, that's really flattering. I mean, I believe that a woman could want to do that based on my voice
No. No,
communication.
Lewis.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, 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 yeah. So
No.
then she's like, let's just can you cover the cost of gas? Can we split gas? And I was like, I mean, this was a lot of effort for like 50 to 100 bucks. It really was. I mean, because that's what
Not
she
if you're a slave in a Chinese
probably,
camp.
probably. So then I realized that
Oh,
this like house of cards had fallen. So this is to get you up to date, like on the same page with me after the men's group. So this happens. I had like a drop in my energy that I didn't perceive. It was kind of like a kick in the gut because
yeah.
I had spent all this time like feeding energy into this, what I believe was an attractive woman, but then she's actually a bot or just a crazy, insecure, neurotic, insane person who's like calling me having trust issues for not sending her money so she can visit me for our first date. Like, and it's also insane because it's like long distance, right? So, but most of the people you'll meet on the app, Sacrena, they're in a different city. which this app cannot be making money yet. It didn't make any money on me, but
Uh,
so I had this.
Maybe it's designed to support the sex slaves working to get gas money from.
No, no,
Yeah,
that
either option, Lewis. Option A or option B, you lose.
either way, I
They're
don't have a
the.
meaningful explanation. I mean, maybe she was just a really hot woman who was nuts, but then again, it's like okay, I'm glad I didn't buy, I bit the bullet on that. I didn't. So anyway, I still had the fault, like the kick in the gut feeling afterwards of like,
Sure.
man, this didn't work out. I didn't perceive that I was having that reaction. So then I'm binging 11/22/63, which is Stephen King's time travel series with James Franco. It's really good. And then it gets to like 1 a.m. and I'm like really horny and I find this really beautiful Ukrainian model and I jerk off. For a second there, I was like online on Facebook. And I'm like, I I I do my usual, like pray to Christ to cleanse me and like cold
What?
shower and this other stuff.
What?
You don't know about? Okay, I haven't told you about any of this. I'm glad you're so entertained.
Wait, Lewis? There's a lot here, man.
Supposed to be about
This
you.
is the whole
I'm
thing.
supposed to get
No, Lewis,
one
no,
hook.
Lewis. What?
You got questions, man? Because I
I
really
don't know.
want to
I
finish
don't
this
even
thread
know
that we
if I
can.
have. I'm just. I want. Oh,
This is a very
I
different
want to give
vibe.
you a hug, and I want to give you some advice, and I want to just. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's fun. I've never been on a dating app.
No, you've never needed to be on a dating app.
Never been.
You're a
Well,
well-built, tall man.
well, thank you. I received that.
You have other
That is in
virtues.
fact
Those are
true.
the primary ones,
This
apparently.
is in fact true. But no, it's I do this work, right? So I talk to a lot of women, and women are they really miss being like hit on, like in real life. They actually miss that. And I think it's worth saying that every woman wants to be hit on well, and that is certainly not a skill I remember being taught in frickin' high school. I
Yeah.
remember a lot of other ridiculous courses required to take that I've never used, but something that useful.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yep.
I'm actually in the process of aggregating material for a dating, like I don't know if it's a course, I don't know if it's like a converse. I just want to have these conversations
Yeah.
because it's like what everything that's coming with AI and AI porn and all these different things, and it's like the collective vital life juice of men that is being siphoned per day. It's like the into the Ukrainian models of Facebook and the sinks and toilet paper of the world. It's like there's so much energy and utility in us as men that's literally being stolen and captured
Yeah.
and taken
But
for vile means.
I
And I
stand
don't
with
mean to
you.
say that masturbation is not vile, but the unintentional use of that divine energy,
Mhm.
right, is something that I think we all need to pay attention to.
Yeah,
We
so
all need to pay attention to.
I agree with that. I stand with you. The ideal choice for a man is not to squander his seed on pixels on a screen.
Yes.
And to save it, store it, use it, circulate it through into his purpose and his woman, to be present and potent in his penetration of both the world and his lady, right? That's the ideal. And for me, the breakthrough here, because this is like a shaggy dog story, because we got to the first part and you're like, whoa, we get to the second part and you're like, I got something. We're finally going to get to the end. I thought it was going to be a much shorter story than this, honestly. I thought it's like a 2 minute thing.
Oh man, bro.
Yeah. So I do my cleanse because Andres, right? I'm studying under Andres and he's got a GPT that I talk to and like have loaded all of his training into. And I'm like, all right, give me a quick ritual for like restoring the integrity and sovereignty of my sexual energy and cleaning up my field by removing any tethers that might have been attached through me to this woman outside of me or to this image or to the pleasure that I just experienced. Let me remove it and cut that cord and then return by in the power of Christ my energy to me. and I feel clear. Like I yawn, whatever. It's effective. And so on the other side of that, I noticed a side benefit that was not intended, definitely not by the porn star. Well, she's not a porn star. She's an actual model. She has a YouTube channel and I'm not going to name her, but because I was like I would marry someone who has virtuous qualities and a spiritual path and is successful who looks like that. Like that's 10 out of 10 physically. And so the next day I go to Conscious Builders and I take CoQ10. Have you ever taken CoQ10?
Ah,
Yes, I've been doing all this work to clean my nervous system up of the heavy metals that occasionally get triggered that leave me in these states of like anxiety and like the rage. You saw some of the rage
hmm,
and or you
yeah,
experience. And so that
sure.
the roots of that have been dissipating and moving from me. And so I took CoQ10 and it also puts me in this really
Mm.
focused, present equanimous state. So I'm out there at Conscious Builders, and this beautiful woman says, "Hey, look at that handsome face." And I'm like, "What? You talking about me?" And she's like, "Yeah, she's talking about me." Of course, she's married, and that might have been a prelude to like try to sell me water filtration because that's part of what she does. But I took
Oh,
it on.
yes, yes, Lewis, yes.
I took it on because in this conscious community, everybody's hunting for clients.
But see, this is what's so, oh man, it's like it's what I've been talking about lately. Rob and I, it's what we've been riffing on. Rob, my business partner. That's not what he is at all. He's a Dharma partner. We're this is what
That.
we're in, brother. It's like we're in the machine and we're trying to we're like when we like send out a particle invite for our men's group, and then we go into it later. We're not trying to capture the emails of the men who were there. We're
And
not
that's
trying to enroll people into our programs. It's like there's something so, and I know you're going to love this word, and I'm going
I
to
love
use it
you. Keep
in a
talking.
very broad context, demonic about the experience that you just had with that woman, right? And this is where it gets really interesting because I'm
Oh,
not
maybe
saying
both
that
of them. I
women
don't.
shouldn't flirt with men, but if you are selling a product, this is the state of the world, man. We talk about this all the time, right? The the religion of the United States of America in 2025, the national religion is shopping. That's what it is.
Yeah, capitalism.
Literally what it is. And we've gotten to a place where it's like we don't even bat an eyelash that a woman, an attractive woman, is utilizing that and compliments and these things to try to stop men to sell them products. I don't I don't know that that is technically demonic. I don't think that it is, but there's something about the frequency of that it's like there's a manipulation in it.
Well, I think so. I agree. And there's
Ah,
the beautiful Jordanian women with the Dead Sea stuff in the malls, right? They walk up to you and like,
sure.
oh
Yeah.
wow, and you're like, oh, a beautiful woman's paying attention to me, and
Sex sells, beauty sells. It's true. It's real. I'm
so
not saying that all of that is bad or wrong. I'm just like, we got to have a conversation about this. Like, we got to start talking about this stuff again because without it, there's no line.
well, the healthy exercise of power is what we're really talking about underneath that because like they have a power over men. They have a power to generate and focus attention and draw attention in.
Yeah.
And are they leveraging it for good or for ill? And this woman last night at Conscious Builders,
Yeah.
I think she was not being disingenuous. Like I could feel later in the conversation there was an angle of like not hunting clients, like it wasn't a pull, but it was like a
Yeah.
curiosity and asking me,
Mm.
"Oh, do you have a Kangen machine?" And but in the beginning of the conversation, she was like, "Oh, I know you from where do I know? Biohacking conference." And we had actually met. I had sent her a friend request, so she was a person that I
Yeah.
knew, and she was being I don't know, because her husband was right there. So the fact that she was complimenting me initially, I was like, "Whoa, there's a woman into me, huh?" Because I always assume that if someone says that if it says something like what sounds or feels like an acknowledgement or compliment, that they actually are. And here's the point: the frame shift that led me to be standing there for myself
Mm.
seems to have increased my traction just energetically. And there's a woman that I've been talking to for like months who like she was really responsive to my communication. And then there's this other woman who asked me out to lunch in the middle of Conscious Builders. And I was like, you know what? I'm getting female attention. And even if that compliment didn't mean what it did, even if that woman was a bot on Telegram, even if I just squandered sexual energy, I'm going to choose the story, basically, that me giving me the pleasure that I would have otherwise been wanting from a woman.
Mm.
Yeah, okay, so I used the stimulation of a softcore image of a model to get there. Fine. Like I now I could argue I'm full in a way, and that one of these women who actually exists, who I have actually met, who is actually talking about coming to meet me, like in person, on the way back from her events that she's teaching at in Oklahoma and other places. Like she's going to come through Austin on the way to Houston is the plan. Like I thought about asking her, like, do you think it's the case? And I'll ask you the same question. This was where I was going the whole time. Is
Okay.
you think if a man if he's healthily honoring his hunger in his horniness and desire for sexual pleasure and touch, like if giving himself that, because this is my experience and this is the story that I'm
Yeah,
living from,
sure.
makes him more magnetic to what he wants to attract with women, even if
Mm.
he comes, even if he's not holding his chi, right? And I had a guy who told me this. His name was Ian. This is many years ago. He was like, "Yeah, I have a great self-pleasure practice." And then I got this again from Michael Author last year in his depth sexuality course. He's like, "Yeah, self-pleasure 3 times a week, and then you're self-sourced sexually." And I got bored of that because I was like, "All right, there's only so many times I can pleasure myself. I want to experience with somebody else." So it's been
Yeah.
like feast or famine experience of like, "All right, I'm holding my energy. I'm not doing anything with it. I'm not masturbating. No porn. No women. Nope. 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 It's got to be aligned." And then more recently, I've leaned into no, it's actually okay for me to have sex.
Hmm.
Not all sex has
Well,
to
there's
be.
a lot of stats that show like the rates of prostate cancer actually have to do with not ejaculating.
They decrease when you have more orgasms more
Yeah.
often. And yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, yeah.
more sex more often leads to longer, happier, healthier life, according to Dr. Daniel
Yeah,
Amen.
that I agree with across the board.
Yeah.
And that's the pickle, right? Because it's like that's true.
Well, that's
And
that's
having sex
typical.
with another person, even if you could be the best onanist, and yes, that is a word, an onanist. You could be the best onanist on the planet. And it's just not gonna, I don't know that it can compare to what happens when two come together in that particular way,
I
in a
absolutely
way
agree.
that literally can bring life into this world, into the body of a female from whence, like from where? Where does that? It's a miraculous force. And
Yeah,
so again, it's like I think we so overlook the most sacred act that can, I think, exist between two people, which is why it's been so demonized and why it's been so pushed down and why I can't think of a better way to fuck up a human being than to put something between their relationship to their creator and their most biological impulse, like their most powerful biological impulse,
to
which is
regulate it artificially or to
to, well, to put something against it, like like the Catholic, or the a lot of the religious traditions that no sex outside of marriage, but then they don't really tell you how you're supposed to pull that off, and they don't talk about any of it. It's just like, here you are, kid, you're 13 and your hormones are going nuts. We're not going to teach you anything except for how to put a condom on a banana, and that you shouldn't ever be in a situation where you should put that on yourself, because sex is,
yeah.
it's a no wonder we're all fucked up.
Well, which is what so attracted me to Andres, right? Because he talks all about eros, and God wants us to be in pleasure, and God wants us to self-pleasure, and God wants us even potentially
I
to be
know.
in threesomes, but only with two women and one man. And that woman and that one of those women and one of those men and that man must be married, right? And that woman uplifts and increases and enhances
That's
the
that's in Ecclesiastes, right? That whole passage.
no, but it is in his reading of the Bible, right? He's read it like 12 times and he's found codes and he's manifesting cool shit. But I don't know if your jury's still out on him, right? You were there for his story, but you might be in the background like, maybe.
I'd love to meet him in person, man.
Yeah,
I'd
me
love to
too,
meet him in
man.
person. I'm always curious about how people are translating you know, the that God source. You know, it's like someone asked me today how I pray. It was a really interesting question, and I'm on step 11 of my 12-step work around codependence. And the 11th step is, and I quote, to seek through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understand God, praying only for knowledge of God's will for us and the power to carry it out. And
Respect.
it's a trip, dude. It is a trip to sit there, and the only thing you can pray for is
Yeah.
for knowledge of God's will and the strength to carry it out. But how do I know? And this is what he asked. The friend that asked me today, he's like, how do you know that it's God's will
Yeah.
that you're hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
How do you know you can trust whatever it is? And I'm in that inquiry. That inquiry, and it's so cool that you brought that in today here.
Mm.
I mean, we're just having a freewheeling conversation now. Someday we'll get to the intention for which we
Freewheeling
created.
like Bobby Dylan.
But peppermint. Peppermint on I'm eating peppermint oil. It increases my speed as if
You're
I
always
need
so
that.
kinky. Did
What?
you say it increases your speed?
Yeah. Putting it on this, applying it to the cerebellum, and then taking some. It's like it
Fascinating.
activates the brain because it crosses the blood-brain barrier and all kinds of stuff. But um,
Dope.
yeah, I highly recommend it. I mean, have I ever tried to fill you with supplements and superfoods to get you even higher performing?
You have actually. There was one time we hung out. You gave me some cacao and like a little thing of pills, some other things.
Thing of
It was
pills.
great. It
Yeah.
was
So
great.
I don't know. What was I gonna say? I don't.
I don't know, man.
We gotta think.
Fuck
Eros,
it.
though. Eros.
Eros.
I think
Yeah,
it's
come on. Keep us on
included.
track here. What are we talking about?
It's included. Pleasure restores us to magnetism. Sex is nice and pleasure
Truly.
is good for you. The Ethical Slut says. That's a really great book on polyamory that I read that was introduced.
I've read it as well years ago.
That's so great. So yeah, I mean, it just was a constellation that occurred for me. And I was going to ask this sex and intimacy coach who's going to come visit me. I was like,
Watch out for them.
what's that?
Watch out for those sex and intimacy coaches.
I know I've dated three in the past year, and none of them have actually been willing to be fully responsible for their impact, like in a completely considerate way, or to
Wait, what
meet.
does that mean?
So I think I'm frankly to be responsible on my side, I think I'm still attracting avoid and attached nervous systems as I cleanse the lens of my own nervous system and
Feel
ground in
that.
security. Because it's easiest for historically in the past I've been anxious attached. It's easiest for that to attract an avoidant attached
Uh-huh.
because it looks normal. It looks like, healthy and aligned. But really, eventually, they'll pull back and they won't want as much intimacy. And then I reach for it or offer it or open a space for it or invite it or try to provoke it or say, here's how I'd like to play is within this frame. And then they lean back or don't take responsibility for the impact that their moves are having over here. And I'm like, hey, you either empathize with and understand the impact that your behavior is having and maybe shift it, maybe don't, or I can't play with you. And there's too many relationship coaches, female relationship coaches, or acclaimed, who are asleep at the wheel of their egos and don't see and are not willing to get responsible for the impact that they're having. And that's okay. You don't have to play with everybody.
The impact that they're having as coaches or just as women or like in dating you.
Dating me, yeah. Yeah, my last partner, she literally we
Mhm.
this is I'd have the experience of her
You're giving,
avoiding discarding me and she
I feel like
acknowledged it was
you're giving them a lot of power.
I'm discerning and distinguishing their behavior based on their nervous system current conditioning and capacity, which is a subtler thing. If somebody's not able to play tennis, it's okay to acknowledge, hey, they're not able to play tennis right now. And that's not
Mhm.
bad or wrong. That's just like their skill level is higher than they think it is in tennis. And I'd love to have somebody who, when I hit the ball to them, they can hit it back. and they're noticing the impact of the game. And I know that that's possible because my last relationship had that.
Okay.
So it's okay to hold people to the standard of what I know is available and possible in conscious relating, and even painstakingly like gift them
What
the
is the standard that you hold people to, or what's the standard that you're looking for? What's the standard? Let's make it broader. Let's solve this for the collective. What's the standard that we should be holding ourselves to in conscious relating?
So I think and I'll make the argument for I'll make the case for it, right?
Yeah.
Because with good practice, I'm about to teach this in my Relentless Love, Awaken Relentless Love and Partnerships event. But
Yeah.
it's very simple. You
Okay.
hit a target that you don't aim at.
Say that again.
You cannot hit a target that you don't aim at. So if you're not consciously, actively, intentionally together choosing to aim at a target, then you're just going to get whatever fucking neurochemicals you get from the limerence of sticking your penis in her vagina and having the attachment circuitry light up.
Limerence. Good
Yeah,
word.
the honeymoon period. It is the end of most
Mm,
relationships these days. The 60% of marriages that end in divorce or the relationships that end in breakup seem to
mm,
come at the tail end of the 6 months to 2 years of limerence chemicals wearing off.
mm,
So unless I go in eyes open, mouth open, speaking and sharing and communicating and distinguishing, here's how I like to play. Would you like to play with me in this way? Yes or no? And then discern based on their behavior, are they actually available for playing with me in that way? If I don't do that, then I will default to the least common denominator of, well, we're using each other for significance and attention. We're stroking each other, maybe stroking each other in order to feel better.
mm.
And then what do we really have? Well, we have kind of this vague, drunken, intoxicated limerence neurochemical cocktail until it runs out. And that seems to be most relationships. They start with a bang, literally, and a flash, nervous system wise and neurologically and chemical,
Mm, mm,
and then they peter out. And the difference is if I get in communication to create a context before that of like, all right, let's practice integrity, which is like doing what we say to the best of
mm,
our ability. What do we say we're going to do? Well, I'm going to come from love with you, and I'm going to honor and be responsible when I'm not coming from love. Reset, clean up, clear out what's ever in me to the best of my ability. So be conscious in relating, and then recommit or reset. Like literally, okay, I wasn't loving to you yesterday. I was an asshole. I didn't see that you have a different perspective than me. I'm sorry. Here's me being responsible for the impact and asking like what or not even asking like what was the impact on you of me being an asshole? Let me listen for that. Lean in and get responsible and shut the fuck up. And then once you've had your say,
mm.
yeah, yeah. Once you've had your say, then I can recommit, I can repromise. And so we're practicing. We don't have to take the full perfect yoga posture all at once, but at least we're reaching through agreements. Here's how we're going to conduct ourselves with each other with integrity with respect to our agreements, agreeing to be loving. And then there's other agreements, like I agree to practice not communicating with you from fear, but rather from love. And if I notice I'm coming from something other than love, I'm going to exempt myself from the communication, or I'm going to take responsibility for the shit that I caused, the debris that I left in the relational field from when I wasn't coming from love. Or like, I agree that what you say to be true is true for you. Like, love means, all right, you have a perspective on Christ that's different than me, that you don't have to land anywhere.
Mm.
Right? Oops, sorry. In the past, I thought you did. My bad. I honor your path. I honor your perspective. And then I recommit or I reset when I notice that I'm not honoring the agreements that I hold myself to. Now, the feminine doesn't like to be held to a frame unless it's submitted, is what I perceive. So these women, they may have just been like, why? I just want to do whatever the fuck I want to do without being held accountable for any sort of intention. And I'm like, fuck you. No, I'm not doing that. That doesn't work for me. We either have the intention to be loving with each other in conscious relating, or you can go fuck yourself. It's insanity to want to be in a relationship with somebody without a clear sense of what are we wanting to relate through and how are we wanting to relate to each other? And I see maybe you got an objection. I'm open.
Well, why do you feel you're struggling in the relational field with women?
I wouldn't say it's a struggle. I'd say we do the wrong thing so long the right thing feels wrong. The right thing is for me to have high standards and strong filters and to say no to most women who show up for me because they're either untrained, unconscious, or unavailable for conscious relating. And to invite them gently, kindly, after a deep enough rapport is built to say, hey, you want to relate to me? We train other people in how to treat us by how we treat ourselves. So I love me. If you're going to be around me, here's how I'd like you to, here's the game I'd like us to play. I don't want us to be assholes to each other. Hey, let's practice not being assholes to each other. You want to just start there? Like, okay, great. Let's do that. Otherwise, if you're going to be an asshole to me, love confronts dysfunction. Fear comforts in dysfunction. I'm not here to put a pillow in your cage. I'm going to call you out if you're engaging with me in a way that doesn't work. And I'm going to let you go if you consistently persist in that and resist my attempts to invite you into a frame where we're practicing being loving with each other. I mean, everybody who I teach loves this because it makes so much more sense than the pure unconsciousness that most people are conducting themselves with. I want to know what doesn't sit right with you though, with this framing. Because it's not a challenge for me. I'm actively training people and inviting them into a frame where I'm in the lead. I'm the leader. I'm setting the tone. They can either follow the tone and the leadership that I'm choosing to set, or they don't have to follow or be around me. And that's okay.
Mhm.
I choose to have a woman who knows what part I'm open for her to play in my life, not a domineering asshole who gets to tyrannically disrespect and discard me on a regular basis and then tell me that she's actually being conscious. I'm done with that. That's what I had at the end of my last relationship. Like 4 times, she would draw me back into my life. She'd come back in and be like, "Oh, we can be friends." And I'm like, "I've got my family back. I've got this woman that I love. I'm not her lover. I'm not her beloved, but she's my friend. She's my family." And then because I'm not her beloved and I'm not her lover, and her codependent relationship with her financially and emotionally codependent relationship with her co-parent like requires her to make sure to not trigger him. She has to cut me out of his life, out of both of their lives, so that his ego can be stroked in just the right way, so he can continue to pay her bills. And after that happened 4 times, I realized, shit, man, I'm either going to train and teach and be very clear to women about what is acceptable to me and what isn't, and hold a strong, clean, clear frame from love in support of us both growing. Or
Mhm.
I'm going to get treated like shit with someone saying, "Oh, but I'm still a good person. I don't mean to avoid and discard you over and over, but I'm going to keep doing it. I'm just going to keep doing it. Oh, I'm going to admit that I'm an avoidant, that I have an avoidant nervous system. You're absolutely right, Lewis. I need to work on this. And I'm taking a tapping training with Sonia Sophia, and now I'm a tapping expert. And it was so beautiful. I felt so open and intimate. But Lewis, I
Uh,
can't have you in my life because
bro.
and this is not an avoid and discard, Lewis. This is my healthy boundaries, Lewis. And I'm like, okay, maybe it is, but the impact she had on me, she was not being responsible for it. And
Mm.
her unwillingness to be responsible for that, it's in line with how most humans operate. Most humans, they say one thing, they do another. And if you do not discern the way their feet move and draw clean, clear, healthy boundaries and say, no, that doesn't work for me, you don't get to play with me, then you'll continue to suffer. That was my lesson. You can tell me if I'm wrong. I know you kind of want to, you have a coach itch right now.
No, no,
Talk about your journey, man.
I'm just on the loose ride, man. I'm just on the loose
I
ride.
didn't mean to make this podcast that. All right. We brought back Michael Bates because he's awesome. As a man, I was just at his men's group.
Oh,
Um, we've talked about this for a while. Like he's living a life of relative financial success and freedom. Like I think he's probably multiple six figures in revenue per year at least. And he's traveling and living a life of abundance. Like I want to go to New York, he goes to New York.
true.
And like that abundance and that freedom of travel, I was like, man, I want some more of that. What's your story? What's your journey that led you to being such a badass as an entrepreneur and a coach? Because I'm always looking to gather new data, new recipes on
Mm.
like what was your algorithm? What did you do? And how do you generate leads? And like how do you manifest leads? Because you're probably in that game, if I had to guess. And all of this
Oh.
starts with the story you told where you had sex on a big pile of money, right? If you want to start there, I'm going to shut up now.
There was an experience that became a tradition
Yeah.
of yeah, I guess in a way, what a beautiful dovetail as far as what we were just talking about. Um, yeah, celebrating a new client or celebrating a big financial win by yeah. Actually, it's so I'll say this, money is so removed from our lives in the way that it hasn't ever been. It's been digitalized like everything else. And there's something about physical money, even though physical money is in of itself, at least now in this point in history, a fiat currency. There's still something in the physical, tangible, something you can hold,
Yeah.
representation of wealth. And what's that passage? God, I'll have to paraphrase it. What serve a man to God, what is it? What
Profit a
serve a man
man if he gains his whole life and loses his soul.
and loses his soul? Yeah, what profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? I think that's Book of Matthew, actually. Um, I want to start there because
Cool.
that seems antithetical to what our culture is telling men.
Hmm.
That you need to make money at all cost.
Hmm.
And we have removed so much of the ethical boundaries and barriers that um, are essential.
Hmm.
And men are being baited left and right and manipulated to make mammon their god.
And
And
to
mammon
provide.
is
Yeah.
materialism itself. It's the worship of money. It's the love of money. All money is a representation of stored value. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. The ancient
Yeah.
Greeks thought it was a feminine spirit. That's a whole other story
Ah,
we can go into. I love that. There's something really beautiful in that, a deep teaching there. But for me, I think I've told you this story before. On my very first, one of my first coaching calls with one of my first coaches, the initial ask of me was, what is my definition of heaven on earth? And I was put in a time box where I had to answer. And because I had to answer, I couldn't think about it too long and I had to just speak it out. And what came out was the merging of my purpose and my income.
uh-huh.
That would be heaven on earth. So a means of first and foremost determining what my dharma is, and then determining how I can best serve that dharma in a way that um, allows me to live a good life.
Hmm.
I think right now our culture is so fixated on the bottom line because that is corporate culture. Corporate culture is legally fixated on the bottom line. It is profits over people. That is the
Yeah.
design of that system. And it
Yeah.
is an abhorrent system because of that. It is an anti-life system because of that, just technically speaking.
Hmm.
This has been a breakout year for me, man. Yeah, I'm sitting with it. It's the timing is interesting. I just had my meeting with my tax advisor yesterday, and I'm just like, what is even happening? How have I been so fortunate to be able to create a life for myself, co-create a life for myself, where I literally people pay me to help them in the way I needed help, in the
Yeah.
way I needed to be helped. And so as Rob always likes to say, Rob Montgomery, my partner in crime in the men's work that we do in the King's Code men's initiatory path that we run here in Austin and in the men's circles. Um, he always says, add value, trust God. Add value, trust God. Add value, trust God. How can I serve?
Yeah.
How can I genuinely serve? And this is the pickle of it, man. This is the spiritual practice. How can I really focus on serving others even when I need food on the table and money in the bank? How can I not make it about me in a system and in a culture that has made it about me, and
Mhm.
taken us from our our sources of wealth, which are truly community, which are truly family, which are truly other people. Because where is money right now if it's not in your bank account? Guess where money is? Someone else's bank account. That's another thing that one of my first coaches taught me. It's like, well, if you're a new coach or you have something to offer, there are people out there that need what you have to offer. Even if you're, what's the joke, the meme? God grant me the confidence of a 25-year-old life coach. I love that one. I love it so much. And to an 18-year-old who's going into college, the wisdom of a 25-year-old life coach who's been through college and has now established themselves in the world as an entrepreneur could be invaluable. It could be exactly what that young man needs.
Mhm.
So there's always someone out there that needs what you want. The money that you need is out there in the world. There is so much money out there. What can you do, not because you deserve it or it's mine or I want mine, but like, how can you add value to someone's life or experience in a way that it would be a blessing for them? Please, may I give you this money?
Mhm.
Please. And so one of the first things I encourage people to do is, it's sexy. Everybody wants to make money.
Mhm.
Can you spend money as a prayer? Can you spend your money at the coffee shop, hiring a coach, paying for groceries, knowing that this is actually enabling someone else to put food on their family's table?
Yeah.
Can you be in that? Wow, as I give away, because you can only keep what you give away.
Uh-huh.
Thus will I be given, because the world is like that. The world takes care of its own. It's a circular system. The planet of which we are made is its own system. It recycles in and of itself, and everyone is taken care of.
Yeah, you always reap what you sow. You don't always reap it when, where, or with whom you sow it. So if you can delay gratification through trusting in God, adding value, unconditionally sowing that value, while
Brother.
making good offers at the right times, like it is still on you because your level of receiving is capped at your level of giving and vice versa. So if you never draw a line and say, "Hey, I would like you to pay," so that we can play in a way that makes your day go even better, right? I'll never forget one of my best friends. He was dealing with relationship stuff. He's married now.
Mm,
I think I might have played some small 1 to 2% part in that because we did a relationship coaching session and I told him, I said, all right, I can be a nice friend whose cool advice as a coach goes in one ear and out the other, or I can be a paid world-class professional in whom you invest at the same time as investing in yourself to co-create a container where life-altering results can occur. And so he did that. And I believe he had that. And yeah, I also love the experience of the prayer. There was a guy, and you're a good coach, just FYI. There was a guy who showed up in my world who he was within the range of my available price points for like what I could secure in terms of a loan. And I got a loan to pay him for, 6 months. It was beyond what was available in the moment. And like it was just a perfect aligned kismet. And so like I love that I get to pay him, that I got to pay him, that I get to pay my bills, that I get to invest in what I do.
yeah,
So
man. This
I
is this is
absolutely
the
agree.
thing I see with coaching. It's like, if someone really needs the money, they're gonna find the money.
Yeah.
Like, if mom suddenly has cancer and like you got to pay for a hysterectomy or she's gonna die, and you've got to do it in 2 days,
Mm.
like, people are gonna, like, you find the right motivation for someone, they're gonna find the money. That's why it's such a beautiful exploration, and so many people want to just kind of push it down and fight through it and get the money and use the caffeine and just drive. There's so much to explore in our relationship to money, because there's absolutely no reason why we all shouldn't be living a life of true, like, give and take abundance. Like, that's the nature of the fucking whole universe. And the fact that this species, cancel, clear, delete, the fact that this culture this culture within the human species has created an experience of lack and destitution and all of the things that we enjoy in our culture that is not natural or not even endemic to the human experience
Uh-huh.
is really something worth looking at, because money is such a teacher. It's such a teacher, and I look at it as a triune spirit. I look at it in the Greek context, but I also look at it in the Hindu context and the Vedic context.
Mm.
I think of it as the Hindu triumvirate.
Mm.
Brahma, you can create money. What's your fluency and your relationship to the creation of money, to making money, to having money come to you?
Mm.
What's your relationship to saving money? Vishnu, the preserver. Truly, investing. What's your investor? Do you have a 401k? Do you have a solo 401k? Do you have a Roth IRA? Do you have retirement? Do you have an investment portfolio? Are you working on the index funds? Do you have CDs? Like what's your dynamic to making the money that you have work for you, so it's not just sitting up in the attic, like grandma squirreling it away and just sitting there while while inflation continues to devalue the dollar. And then Shiva, right? The destroyer. How do you spend money? How do you destroy your money? You destroy it. How can I bring consciousness to that? Truly. All of life is a spiritual practice, man. I love the rocket ships. Look at that. All of life is a spiritual practice, man. And I would say that the victory of modernism, the sad victory has been to convince us of to lead a secular existence, and to remove our connection with something greater than ourselves.
Mm.
And money has been such a teacher for me in that regard. Such a teacher. Because the tradition in which I grew up in is blue collar, lower middle class, upper
Uh-huh.
lower
Yeah.
class. My actual coal miners in Kentucky is my mother's lineage. Steel workers, Union Steel out of Pittsburgh, and all these other things. My dad and brother, or my dad and uncle, were school teachers. It's like money in a lot of ways is the root of all evil. It's this thing, and businessmen, and I had such a
Oh.
negative view of business and businessmen because they're the ones ripping us all off. And it's the way that the lower classes have to romanticize the overarching villainy of the upper classes to make themselves feel better for not having money.
Mm.
And that's a very real thing, which isn't to say that there isn't a lot of villainy in those upper classes, because that's a whole other conversation. What you got something, man? You're cooking over there. You got the alien face coming at me. I see it. Come at me, bro.
I got the alien face. I like we're
Yeah, it's like
like a
the
language.
transmission is you can't hold it back.
So a couple things. Like the love of money is the root of all evil. That's what First Timothy says. So
Yes, yes, yes. What did I say? Love of money? It's
well, money is not the root of all
money is not
evil,
the root of all evil. Love of money.
which is codependent attachment. If it,
And
so,
even that, I feel like there's got to be a different translation for that, because I feel like it's like, making love, it's making money your God. You
yeah.
cannot serve two masters, right? God or mammon. It's like, that's literally what mammon is a representation of, is the love of money over the prioritization of money and the pursuit of money, the Ebenezer Scrooging of the world.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So it's the word philargia, means not merely affection for money, but avarice, greed, or miserliness, an attachment that replaces trust in God.
Philargia.
Yeah, so
Dope.
there's something one of my teachers, Artemis, said earlier today. I was in his Ozone for Life training. He said, "Our provision is given to us by favor from God, by the favor of God, and not by effort." And so we're
Mhm.
trained by culture that we don't deserve money and we have to work hard for it. And it's not that we don't have to put forth any effort, it's that when we find the right positioning of that will of God and we submit to that, money is a byproduct of us living our purpose. You see a leaf moving on a river, you don't confuse the leaf for the river. The river is driving the leaf. That is God. That is, if we're in the direction of our purpose, money will flow to us, money will flow through
Yeah,
us to
now we're
our
getting
purpose.
spicy, man, because now we're getting back to the root story of our entire culture. The
Mm,
the root story that is the predicating story of everything that is our culture,
mm,
which is man and woman ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and were then cast from the garden to work and toil from the sweat of their brow.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that means. To work and toil in a way that is, I mean, anything can be work and toil. And some what's work and toil to you might be, amazing to me. My younger brother, God bless him, man. When we were kids growing up, I would like Christmas, right? I'd get like the Magic Johnson basketball and I'd get like my Transformer toys. My brother would get a rake and a wheelbarrow and a shovel, and he would just be outside for hours just digging in the dirt, raking stuff,
Yeah.
being like the gardener, and we kind of make fun of him, but you kind of couldn't because he was just so sincere and loved doing it. And before you knew it, we would all be outside just digging holes with him because it was like, this is kind of awesome.
Reminds me of that scene in Breaking Bad with the one guy, like Jesse starts digging a hole, and then the other guy, like,
Oh, dude.
yeah, and the other guy's on meth and he digs holes. But anyway, so let's establish your credibility and authority here because like you clearly know some
We
stuff.
better do that. Let's do it. Come on. Make me credible, Lewis.
You're already credible. It's your credibility in this specific area. Like, what if it's not rude, and you can always tell how much someone is making versus how much they want to make by their answer to this question. I could see it on your face when I supposed that you were making multiple six figures. Like, what's your yearly revenue? Are you bold and courageous and fearless enough to actually speak that? Because you make $100,000 offers. Now, I mean, a lot of people make
Well,
a
I made
hundred
one to you, so we know I've at least made one of them.
thousand. Well, if they've been taken, if people are taking those offers, then that's probably, and I don't consider it impolite. I consider it like there are a lot of coaches out there who haven't made six figures but are teaching other people how to make six figures through
This is
good
very,
marketing and sales training.
yeah, and then start making six figures, teaching people how to make six figures when they
Yeah,
didn't make six figures coaching, but they made six figures coaching
teaching
coaches how
people.
to coach. Yeah.
You know how I know? You know how I know? Because I was one of those. And,
Yeah.
and actually, the stuff I gave people worked for them. Like they actually got from
Yeah.
a couple
It's
hundred
a
dollars.
very real thing. It's like do as I do, not as I say, right? Or it's like, or do
Well,
as I say, not as I do, right?
my
It's
first
but yeah.
year using those principles, my first year, I made $100,000 plus in cash collected. It was like
Congratulations.
121 or something. I don't remember. And like, and then the tricky part is, well, so there's a lot of tricky parts. One is that just because you can get somebody to a 10K month does not mean you've given them a business that's sustainable and repeatable. Most of the industry is like this, and that's most industries, is like up and down in revenue. And if I had to guess, and it's not an insult, doesn't make anybody wrong or less than, if I had to guess, you probably have had your fair share of that. But the fact that you have enough freedom in wealth to be traveling and at ease and in a life of like graceful, like your baseline is probably high enough to where you're covering all, not just all of your expenses, but you have a healthy like cushion of disposable income. And so I'm going to look back on your career, right? You start off like you make this big offer to this guy, and then he pays you in cash, and then you have sex on a bed on of this cash, and then eventually he like demands it back or something,
No, I was a different client.
as a different client. Okay, and then like at some point you get this sweet gig where you find this guy to partner with who calls himself a British cunt. I loved that. I was like, this guy.
Rob.
The fact that he kept saying that and his whole vibe, I was like, he needs to be on my podcast too. He's brilliant as fuck, and I've seen it, I've felt it, but now I know it, and
You'll have a hard time getting Rob on the podcast,
I
man.
know, I know. He was
Yeah.
immediately resistant. He was like, I was like, here, I would love your number. And he was like, you're already connected to me on Facebook. I was like, oh, okay. He wants to reroute the communication so that he does not have to give any further access. Power. He's exercising his power to control his communication and connection. And he's all open and upfront and like, ah, yeah, rah, rah. But the moment you ask for something he's not willing to give, fuck you, energy. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Oh, that's one way to look at it.
No, it's the
That's one way
exercise
to
of
experience it.
authority. It's exercise of authority. Like nominally, acting as if, yeah, I'm open to your. He didn't say I'm not open to being on your podcast. He just gave me the exact vibe that you confirmed, which was, oh, message me
Well,
here.
not everyone should get access to Lewis. Not everyone should get access to Michael. Not
I
everyone
agree
should
with
get
that.
access to Rob.
I agree with that. So me as a marketer, right? Because I'm always marketing. Any choice or opportunity for action, I've either positioned it properly to where someone sees the opportunity for them or they don't. So he doesn't see the value in me yet. And that's fine. He doesn't see the value in what conversations we could have yet. That's fine.
Well, you guys haven't had a conversation yet, you
It's
know?
on me to have more conversations with him or to show up more. Now,
Ah,
it might have also been that I was a threat to his authority in the men's group because I kept making suggestions that kept being taken by the room. Who knows, right? One of the greatest things that's not confronted in our industry is the exercise of power, is the existence of ego and the throwing around of ego and the blind spots of ego. And like, nobody talks about it. I loved how he constructed that group though. He was like, I'm not here to have you be one down from me. I'm here to invite you into being equivalent with me. And he
that's what
fought
we're
for
that's
that.
what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you both fought for that. And I think you achieved that. And at the
It's a
same
hard thing to
time,
to achieve often.
well, at the same
Because of well, to be if I can be honest, because of what's
yeah,
happening right now in a way. It's like, how much money does he make? If I know how much money Michael Bates makes, then I can compare myself against him. And if I'm making more or less or
it's not
this
about
or that. So
competition,
the way I want to answer
it's
the
about a
question that you
recipe.
asked me is I
Yeah,
want to answer it like this,
yeah.
because this is the question that I ask every one of my clients. This is the ultimate money question. This is the final money question at the end of the work that we do on this topic. What is your definition of enough?
20
What
grand per
is
month consistently on
enough?
monthly recurring revenue. So like if I have
Well,
somebody in front
well,
of me who seems to be making that money, I think it's reasonable to ask them if that's true so that I can know, hey, if I ask you for a recipe of how you did it, is it valuable to me to get to where you might be? And I know it might be embarrassing to look like you make less than you seem to. So most people don't want to disclose their revenue on that account. That's fine.
well,
Like,
most people never used to talk about it because it was just deemed impolite. It was like a cultural thing, right? We didn't talk about how much money you made. We didn't often talk about politics. And now look at how things are, and we talk about everything. So
yeah,
it's an
so
interesting
credibility.
thing. But for me, it's more of what I want to model for people, because it's like, um, that's the most important question in this era of it's
Mm,
never enough. Like this, you hear the stories all the time. It's like, I made all the money in the world. I got the house, I got the girl, I got the car, I got the stuff, I got all the things. I even got riches and I even got fame, and I was
yeah.
miserable, and they were ashes in my mouth.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
so
agree with you that
I,
this
I I'll say this too. I make more money than I ever thought I would make.
yeah.
I make more money than I don't know. I was almost about to say than I probably need, but I do pride that as we do in the King's Code, right? It's like, well, how can I create legacy? How can I give back? How can
Yeah.
I create um or be in some relationship to some of these old world principles like tithing?
Yes.
How
Agreed.
can I, at the very least, saving, having my savings account for my taxes and these types of things, but like, what is actually enough? What is the amount of earned income? And this is beautiful, right? You said $20,000 a month. My next question would be why? Why that? And then we would interrogate that all the way down to the studs, because so many people think that we need something that we don't actually need. We need love, food, water, shelter, community, great sex, I would say. It's
Mm.
pretty up there.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, the difference between 180K and 240K, the difference between, I mean, they did that study, right? What was it? The sweet
75.
spot, something
Yeah.
like, yeah, 80 to 130 or something.
Yeah, I've heard it as low as 75, like
Yeah.
is enough for most people. So like for me, it's not just about getting hooked on a number. And I, by the way, to take full responsibility,
Is
if
that a Star Trek
it
thing
is
that you have on your?
because I
Oh,
can and because it's fun. So
go
yeah,
ahead, Captain.
to the double tap. So for me, like I came up as a business coach in the age of both Jonathan England and other Bastian Slot and Akbar Sheikh showing me screenshots of their Stripe accounts saying, "This is how much money I made. Do you want to know how much money I made?" I have no fear on being completely transparent on exactly how much I make as a credibility and authority establisher. Now they're business coaches and you're not, and it might have been impolite to presume to take the conversation in that direction with you. That if it was, I apologize because you looked and smelled and sounded like someone who I could learn something in business from and business as a coach. And so that was the original curiosity was like, all right, he's living a life of travel freedom. And maybe it's because you fell in with and got a great team that you become a part of, the King's Code. That's great. That maybe that's a lesson unto itself. I would love to learn what that lesson looked like, sounded like for you. And possibly we're going to need to do a part two to get your full story here. And this is good. I mean, this is great. This is
Mhm.
a great conversation. And for me, it's not, again, about being hooked on the number or making it mean something about me versus the other person or them wanting up or wanting down versus me. It's like there are specific things I feel distinctly and uniquely called to.
Mhm.
I just had Eric Ferguson on the podcast. He gave me a really beautiful strategy of how he does lead generation on a particular platform and how it works and how much money he's invested in ads and how to make those work for him. And I was like,
Mhm.
that's great. My people can use that. And for me, it's like provision comes is in service to the vision. But
Sure.
God helps those who take responsibility for their own finances. Like
Mhm.
if I'm not doing my best to get refined, clarified recipes from the best I see around me, who are doing men's coaching, by the way, one of the best I see around me, who's like thriving and in a life of abundance and freedom. Like if I'm not asking, ask not, you have not because you ask not. So, and I know that now that you know what I'm actually asking, you might take some time to like figure out your answers and plot like the story of
No,
your
not at all. It's, ask and you shall receive, right? It's like ask not and you shall receive exactly the answer that you wish to receive, or
Mm.
the thing that you think is the thing that is the thing. And so,
I love that sentence.
it's like I yeah, it's for me, it's just I don't I don't do ads. I've never done ads.
Yeah.
Um, for me, it's more about, and this is the way that it's really worked for me. It's more of a feminine style for me than a masculine style. And by that I mean I don't do a lot of hunting. I
Mm.
do a lot of showing up in a space and being myself and letting myself be seen.
Yeah.
That's part of my nature as a projector in the human design system, which is a
Yeah.
system that I discovered years ago that changed everything for me. And a lot of people have a lot of different thoughts about that system, but it's been an incredible gift for me as far as, oh, that's why I'm different.
Yeah.
And so while I might be, as you said, a 6'5" muscular, tall, whatever you said. Um,
You heard a lot more than I said, but yeah.
Well, I'm paraphrasing whatever you said, and thank you. And these things are true, right? And why I'm saying that is because my nature is actually quite feminine, and
Huh.
my style is actually quite feminine. Rob's style is quite masculine in its direct penetrative element,
That
which
was
is why Rob and I work incredibly well together.
yeah.
Because the joke that we kind of have in the men's work we do is that he's dad and I'm mom, which is hilarious because I think Rob is like 5'8". I might be giving you an extra inch there, bro. I don't know. Or maybe I'm not giving you enough. I honestly don't know how tall Rob is. But you see us, and it's like it's what I love about this work, and why I think God and the universe has such just a staggeringly brilliant sense of humor, and why this whole thing needs to be taken lightly. It's like there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. And for anyone who's trying to be a coach, yourself included, it's like, what are you drawn to, brother? Like, what is, yes, strategies and these things are important. Like, it's good to be fluent. Like, if you're going to go to war, it might be good to understand in the Middle Ages, right? If you're going to go to war in the Middle Ages,
I'm the
it
middle
might be
ages.
good to have some fluency in more than just broadsword. Because
Yeah.
if you get on the
Yeah.
battlefield and you do not get your broadsword, there might only be a mace. You might need a shield. Like you might need other things. So I just want to say that for me, what has worked best and how I've gotten my clients is I go and I lead a workshop. I go and I lead a retreat, and people see me doing what I do. And they're like, I want more of that because I just had, or they come to a men's circle, right? They're like, whoa, you're up to something. I want to know a little more about that. I then invite them into a conversation. We talk in a very straightforward way, as you and I did. There was a time earlier in my career where I did a bit of the I feel like who's really good at that, or was Preston Smiles, who's a
Yeah.
local Austin guy. Well, was an LA guy and then an Austin guy. I not he's not a close friend of mine, but someone I would call a friend. A very generous guy as far as I've experienced him. And what I saw him doing with people was encourage them, get on Facebook. If you want to be a coach, get on Facebook, offer coaching, and then just like help people. And if you help someone, they might be like, I want more of that. And then, well, it would be X amount of money. And you learn how to do that. Or
Yeah.
you go through, when I first hired my business coaches, because I did do some of this, it was like, go through all of the list of all the people that you know, pull out some people that you get either an intuitive hit or something like that's someone to target, and then give them a call and just like talk to them, just have a conversation.
Yeah.
And then it's like towards the end, be like, yeah, like this, I'm doing this coaching thing now. And I don't know, like I honestly reached out because I thought for whatever reason that I might be able to help you in some kind of way. It's like, this is the tricky thing about it, right? Exactly. It's like, how can you, whatever the fuck you're doing, can you do it in full honesty, transparency, and integrity?
Mm.
Because if not, you're aligning yourself with a very specific frequency of energy. And a lot of people think because they make money doing that, that it's okay, that the end result, the ends justify the means. Oh, no, no, no.
Mm.
Your soul is the most precious thing you have.
I love that. Thank you. That was
Yeah,
simple. That was clear. I
yeah.
love it. Yeah, so we now hear and know and have what has worked for you, and it is an authentic, organic, holistic expression of you. And you just show that is what I have observed. You show
Mm,
up and be you, and your
mhm.
being is compelling and magnetic. Yeah, and it's
Yeah. And then I
awesome.
do stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
And
be me, which is the annoying thing my mother, God bless her, used to always say to me. She's like, just be yourself, Michael. All you have to do is just be yourself. It would infuriate me, Lewis.
yeah,
Mom, what the
yeah,
fuck does that mean? How do you mean
yeah,
be myself? I don't even know who I am. How do I be that? It's like, well, that's the process.
yeah.
And in a way, that's the beauty of a feminine path, the masculine path of doing. Okay, well, what do I do? How do I do it? What do I do? How do I do it? It's like, how do you find your own unique version of blending those two seemingly opposite threads together?
Yeah,
How do you be Lewis
yeah.
doing something in service to other people? How do you put all of your attention on someone else and fill them and flood them with encouragement and just the grace of your attention? You're here, and then you ask good questions that inspire them to find the answer for themselves.
Yeah, there's an interesting piece to that, which is like we give our attention lovingly, freely, and unconditionally. And then at a certain point, we put a paywall up. And sometimes in the past, I affirm, I've given so much. And then that part of me that remembers that I charge $1,000 an hour comes up and starts to resent the fact that when it gets hooked, when the ego gets hooked and attached to receiving from this person at this time in this way, and after giving them 8 hours in a men's group and then they disappear or
Mm-hmm.
they don't reciprocate or they don't even thank you. Like there's an interesting dynamic, like a power dynamic going on there where like you and I know that our time and energy is valuable and we give it away freely, and then at a certain moment we ideally for the best service of the person in front of us, like, okay, now you need a committed container where you've got some money at stake, where you've got your money where your mouth is. Like, I've done all I can with you without you investing in you. You need to invest in you to make what I can do go as far and as fast as it could go for you. So like I believe in that. And it's very
Well,
interesting. It's just
yeah, man.
that dynamic because
That's where it gets really interesting, right? Because it's like that same sentence said by two different people with two different intentions can produce two completely different outcomes.
Mhm.
And one can be absolutely beautiful and in integrity, and one can be absolutely shady as fuck and manipulative as fuck and salesy as fuck. But the truth is, and this is what it is, the reason that coaching is $1 billion industry now
Mm.
is because of the annihilation of the tribal structure, the family structure, and the community structure.
Mm.
We didn't need a coach. You didn't need the Apache didn't need a
Had an
fucking
elder.
coach.
Yeah. You had a
You had the
shaman.
whole community. You had the elders. You had the wisdom of the tribe, and we've annihilated that from ourselves, and we've annihilated our connection, our personal connection with something greater than ourselves. So just like the moneylenders in the temple, we've allowed a priestly class to infiltrate and put themselves in between us and our relationship to that which made us. And that is a reason to flip some fucking tables on
Right.
both fronts. Usury, which is an abomination, a true abomination and a true manipulation and a true, I think, evil act. I
Mhm.
hope you're listening. Visa and MasterCard. And you're not, I'm gonna just this is the only thing I'm gonna say on this. This is a whole tangent we're gonna go on. We're
Oh,
not
this
gonna
is
go down the
great.
rabbit
This is
hole.
great.
How much money do you think Visa made last year?
Billions, easily.
Or MasterCard or Amex or these things that have now infiltrated our wallets, besides the cash, that
With two
every
legs.
time we use them for anything, those people get money. Those people get money. They've
They've found a
earned their
way.
way in between you and me and our free right to
Yeah, that's
exchange
interesting.
money,
That's really
untaxed money, untaxed representations of value that are by the people and for the people.
yeah. Yeah,
And
I agree with you. So that opens to a whole nother world, which is like capitalism is just a chapter on the journey of humanity into stewarding the resources that God has given us
truly, man,
effectively. And do you believe that what you do is in service to God?
without question.
You need to have
And
a
I
508.
doubt it more than I would be comfortable telling people.
Dude, you should not be taxed. You should absolutely 100% not be taxed. There's something called the Trinity model, a private membership association and a 508c1a. I can put you in touch with people where, like, because of the separation of church and state, you can step into the identity of the awareness that the government does not have the right to extort and extract resources and money from me for taxes, for using for fucking healthcare programs that don't work, that are fucking killing people, military initiatives
Yeah,
that are
man.
destroying countries.
I'm sitting with it right now. Like I said, I had my meeting with my tax advisor yesterday.
Yeah.
I have the highest tax burden I've ever had. I can continue to give you little clues of
You know,
each year that I've coached, I've made progressively more money each year. This is the most amount of taxes I'm ever going to pay. I love that. That's the problem that I have. What a wonderful problem to
yeah.
have. I met a man who I've been in conversation with who, um, for a sizable fee, does something along the lines of what you're talking about, where he negotiates with the Secretary of State for you to pay no tax to become a sovereign citizen.
Hmm.
And it's a whole other rabbit hole to go down. Um, I'm considering a lot of different options. I think, what is it, 508 PMA? There's a few of the 508 things that are very curious to me.
Yeah.
And I've been told it puts a target on your back. I'm not sure how much of that is just fear mongering nonsense.
Depending on whether or not you have the energy that can support
Yeah,
you. There are
yeah,
different
yeah.
people who
Well,
like,
for me, it's like the struggle I'm in right now, the angel I'm wrestling. Let's put it that way, brother. The angel that I'm wrestling is, there's a part of me, my ego structure, that is still putting the man above the mission. That is still, my codependence is still interested in
uh,
protecting this Michael Bates character from you by trying to control how you think, feel, and believe about me. And so there's this thing that I'm like, because the King's
thank
Code,
you.
man, what we're up to is fucking beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. And this work that I do is profound, and it comes through me, but it's not me, man. It is something greater that I am just humbled to be in service of.
I love that.
And
And I feel that from
I
you.
don't want to put any targets on that work proliferating in the way that I want it to proliferate, because we are already talking about the King's Code as a 501c3 at the very least.
Mm.
We're talking about at the very least as a nonprofit.
Yeah.
And a lot of shady motherfuckers use nonprofits to do a lot of really shady shit too.
Government
So,
extracts taxes from nonprofits. The government extorts like it's just another target. Like an LLC is actually a target. That
oh
puts
yeah,
a
for sure.
target on someone's back.
Yeah.
Like, like, and Yeah. I love your self-disclosure. I love your fucking vulnerability. I love your heart and your commitment to God and your generosity. Like,
I've suffered too much, brother. I've
yeah.
suffered too much not to be able to speak about these things so as to hopefully save some of my brothers and sisters out there from burning as long as I have. And what was it, Krishnamurti, something along the lines of if it can burn, let it burn. It's like, yeah, man, I'm here to serve the biggest good that I can possibly conceive of beyond what I can conceive of in service to something greater. And whatever that takes, because I'm gonna die anyway, bro. It came up in the men's group, right? One of the guys shared something around the sacrifice and the meaning of the word and what it means to make sacred, and to give of something, and to make a life that way. So for me, that again, that is what do I want money for? So I can make the greatest, most beautiful, exquisite sacrifice in the name of our shared humanity that a human being can capably do, while being led by something greater than the finitude and limitations of my human thinking mind. You know,
United absolutely and deeply and dearly and truly with that, man. And that's why you're in the Mystic Crew. And that's why I can't wait to hear your spiritual journey that had you land there. You got something cooking for us, man? You got something good?
I'm getting cooked. I'm getting cooked right now, man. I'm very glad I didn't feel like I would have robbed you guys of an integral piece of the journey that has happened since I was
Yeah.
slated to share with you all. And it'll always be that way, I imagine, to some degree. There's always a new chapter, but this was a big one, man. It was a big kick in the a big kick in the nuts, man. I haven't been kicked in the nuts like that spiritually in a while. And I've been kicked in the fucking nuts, man, a lot. But this came sideways, man. I didn't see this one coming at all. And it was expensive, man. It was very expensive in the not in the financial sense of the term, but in
Yeah.
I would much rather have paid a financial tax. If there was an amount of money I could pay. It wouldn't be any amount of money, but it was valuable enough to where it sucked. It really sucked to, yeah, to take that hit.
I love your skill in being deeply vulnerable without being completely disclosed, which is a matter of discretion and like personal choice about the authority over your experience. And like there's a self-loving diplomacy to that I really respect.
Brother, I don't know that you could pay me a greater compliment than to say that, because it has been hard fought and hard won. Because that is what's been at the heart of my codependence. I was boundaryless
Mm.
for most of my life. I was completely invadable, completely manipulatable, completely usable.
Mhm.
And I really, that combined with the ideology that I grew up with, made me think that that was my role, was to be that sort of mea culpa of the straight white masculine reality of I'm so sorry for what's happened to you. I'll sit here and take it. I'll sit here and listen to you. I'll sit here and take your blows, sweet abused feminine.
To come from that
Yeah.
to the strength of character that you currently possess, and you've sharpened mine, having you in my
Mm.
life, really. Because, like, there was
Mm.
from our first conversation where I was like, this cagey, like, I'm not sure who you are. Can I tr
So cagey. Oh, it was so fun.
That was our first, like, live conversation. Before that, I was just like, enchanted. And then I was like, oh man, this guy's awesome. And I want to know more. And then you were busy. And then it's been a long year. We
It's
could
been a
now we
journey,
do a
man.
podcast.
It's been a journey.
To our listeners, this
Mm.
man, this year, when I was in a tough spot, made $100,000 offer to me, and it blew me out. But what he followed that up with, which was astounding, I still don't understand. It's like that this could happen, and this to me is a sign that I have the favor of God, and people and God in people see me and see the value and the love and the heart that I carry. Like he put in an envelope or a note $100 bill and basically invested $100 into me and said, I believe in you and your capacity. And I was just like, I came home and I opened it up and my jaw was on the floor. I was like, wait, what? This is such a strange, like, not only does he blow me out with this offer that is so far beyond, because I've had that happen before. I had a $10,000 offer made to me in 2016 by Dave Burns. Um, and all right, Dave,
Dave Burns.
yeah, and I was just like, I want to work with you, but I have no clue how to make that money. And now I've paid for 10,000 and even $20,000 things since. But at the time, I just and the idea that someone that a coach would make an offer like that and then vote victory through actual investment and generosity. I was just like astonished and astounded. So that plus like the sharpening of like being able to hold your own, you've been such a gift in my life, and I thank
Mm,
you for that. And I'm glad that we get to share you with my people again. And you're always welcome
mm.
back on the podcast. It's just a question of what we get to talk about from time to time. Has this been fun for you today?
It has, brother. I wouldn't be here if it hadn't, if it wasn't, if I wasn't anticipating it being so, and if it hadn't been in the past. So you honor me. Thank you for your compliments. I received them truly. And yeah, it is. Yeah, thank you. I received them.
You're so welcome, man. And I'll put a teaser trailer in for what I think we could talk about next time, and then we can tell
Ooh,
people where to find you. Um,
great.
the exercise of power as a coach, as a facilitator, and even through marketing and sales. And my speculation is that the strongest frame and vibe wins, no matter what someone says. So the one with the strongest frame and the one with the strongest vibration will draw the attention and will draw the compliance of the room. And I'm not faulting him for this. I loved it in him. I saw it in Rob. Like he was inviting people to like let's all be on an equal playing field, but he still, you both to some degree, carry an energetic weight and an authority as elders who've been on a spiritual path, who've cultivated that wisdom inside you, that when you open your mouth, it has weight in a way that not everybody's mouth opening has. And honoring that requires understanding the stronger frames, the stronger vibes are winning. And I'm sure you've also been in deep consideration of like, how do I exercise this power and authority gently, gracefully, lovingly, kindly, compassionately?
I think that's the most common conversation that Rob and I have. And I want to shout out my brother,
Yeah,
Rob
cool.
Montgomery, as someone who truly there's a reason that I wanted to work with him, that I wanted that he was the one that I've been waiting for to do this work with, to do the King's Code. Because there is a power that he holds that he does not give lightly. He does not, you don't just get to get in his good graces by showing up. You
Yeah.
really have to earn it with him. And he set a standard for me in that regard. So in the way you've complimented me, it's easy for me to send a compliment to Rob, to my brother here, in the way that he and I both stay up nights, talking about how the fuck do we in integrity hold the mantle of power, because this is what we do in the King's Code. The uninitiated men are horrible with power. And all you have to do is look at our culture and our society, and it is everywhere. And the
Yeah.
signs of the uninitiated, childish, boyish, adolescent, puer aeternus
Hmm.
of that energy is everywhere, and it is terrible with power because it's a teenage boy with the AK-47. It's what it is.
Yeah.
And how do we step into a system of checks and balances with other good men who are dedicated to doing the same? I think that's the first piece of it. But how do we not hoard unto ourselves what power we're given? Which is again why I was hesitant to name that number for you, because
I
there's something in that. I and maybe we'll talk about it more next time too. I know we got to wrap this up, but I can't think of a better topic to interrogate than power in all of its forms, and
Dude, we've even got a
how to be
title.
honorable stewards of it. Yeah.
We've even got a title, Men, Money, and Power.
Mm.
Men, money, power, and compassion.
Well,
So
they've done studies. It's like money, sex, and power. Those are the three topics that men like. If you're like scrolling, it's like that's what men click. Those are the things that we are obsessed with, the things that we look for, and for a good reason. for good reason. But how do we be stewards of those in the right way? And what a beautiful. I'm realizing that our conversation was actually that we started with sex, we
Went through
segued with
money, we
money,
ended in
and now
power.
we
So this is
finally have
sex,
ended
money,
with
and
power.
power part one.
Yeah, and
Excited, man.
sex, money, power. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
look
yeah,
at that.
yeah.
Well
So
done,
how do
brother.
people get more of you, Michael?
Well, you can find me on my website, which is michaelbates.com, spelled like my hippie mother intended, Mikaal, B as in boy, Ates. And then Rob Montgomery and I run the King's Code, which is the kingscode.org. It's our masculine initiatory path. That is something I'm just incredibly excited about. We just wrapped our second battalion. Sorry, Rob, battalion. And we'll be kicking off our third in March. And we've got circles here happening in free men's circles here in Austin. We're doing a grief circle next Tuesday, November 11th, 2025. We're going to have a lot of other sort of uh, King's Code sponsored offerings that are in this vein that are just going to be accessible to everyone. We're going to do probably a 1 day or a full day or a weekend in the next couple months that we're talking about, and we're going to be doing a co-ed experience as well. Again, we did one last December, Sacred Union. It's going to be different this year, but we're gonna do something. So we're excited.
Amazing, man. I love it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving the gift of your grace and your
Of
perspective.
course.
I'm going to jump into my client call.
Go,
Well,
dog, go. Big love. Talk to you soon.
yeah. All right. Go make
Cheers.
love easy, y'all.
Right on.